Welcome to Visualize, the podcast where collaboration fuels change. I'm your host, Chris Baker, and each week we'll explore incredible connections between nonprofits, businesses, and the community. This is a space where we highlight inspiring partnerships, uncover strategies for creating meaningful impact, and share stories that show how working together can make all the difference. Whether you're a nonprofit leader, a business owner, or someone just passionate about building connections, this podcast is for you.
So I've always wanted to be able to continue the legacy of my mom and continue the legacy of my dad. And so being here now and being involved with the BBOC, the Boynton Beach Online Chamber of Commerce, and helping and getting involved with other nonprofits that I think make sense for what they're doing, what their mission is where I'm starting to get more involved with the community. So I don't know if I want to say I'm full circle. However, your experiences are different than mine. Much more. Is it safe to say survivor? I don't know. Forgive me. Right? From the trauma that you deal with. I was be able to come to the same spot you are, except from a different spot. So it's I think the spirit and the soul that's inside of us that really allows us to come and to flourish and to find our spot, regardless of the trauma, regardless of the challenges, regardless of upbringing, regardless of financial culture. But it's hard for you. And I see you as a survivor of that crazy stuff that you escaped from. Or am I being not accurate? And does that not make sense?
No, it does make sense. In my head, I want to say warrior.
Okay. I like that better.
Yeah. I fought through
warrior,
the pain. I fought through the trauma. I fought through everything. And I came out, stronger and more resilient. And I think that's one thing that no matter who we are, we have to find that warrior inside of ourselves. It doesn't have to mean that we're hurting other people, attacking other people. It's just sometimes you have to attack yourself and figure out what is holding you back so that you can move forward.
A lot of people don't, right?
That's true.
Because, right, going back to the nonprofit world, the people that you are helping, the people that I've supported and helped, some of them don't have that fortitude. Some of them don't have that ability, right? You had an epiphany or an awakening. So it's on us with the different journeys that we've had to be able to continue to help lift up, our neighbors and our friends and the people that don't maybe have that ability, right? For whatever reason, whether it's their education or culture or finance or they've always been put down. So it's always a blessing when you see that smile on a little kid's face. If you're doing with nonprofits or boys and girls clubs, right? One of the big things for me that's important with the businesses that I work with is that they do philanthropy, because my and I know that all the small businesses out there might say, Kevin, you're crazy because we're small business. We have no money. However, when you open up your store, right, and you put your plan together, you have to have some type of philanthropy because you're making a living in your community, and you have an obligation because you're at that spot and you're living your dream, if you will. What's that philanthropy look like? I don't know, because it depends on the business, depends on the industry. However, that's really important for me to make sure that they have some type of philanthropy. Maybe we can't do it the first month or 6 months. However, it has to be on the business plan, or I won't work with those people, because it's important to be able to connect with your employees. It's important to be able to connect with your customers. Yes, it's important to make revenue and build your business and reach your goals, but it's also wicked important and vital that you are better connected with your community. So those are my 4 pillars when I work. So philanthropy and nonprofit is always part of my DNA for my business.
It was something that, I've always wanted to start my own nonprofit, and I thought of different ways of starting a nonprofit. And then when we started this business, we really kind of just started, and we didn't really have the business plan fully set in place. It was fine. We got going because, you just need to start, you got to get started somehow. And so we actually started looking at that, and then we got introduced to some amazing people through the chamber, actually.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale Chamber, sure.
That was amazing. And there was a conversation that I had with somebody. It was like, what are you doing for nonprofits? And I was like, huh. I mean, yeah, I had done a couple things, but I hadn't thought about it even deep enough. I'm like, yeah, like we did this. What more can we do? And so then our goal for 2023 literally was we wanted to help 24 nonprofits. And that year, we created over 128 videos and helped over 30 nonprofits. We hit our goal. And I was like,
Exceeded your goal.
yeah, I hit the goal and exceeded. And I was like, whoa, this is something beautiful. And then in 2024, we got the studio space. We started to change a little of what we were trying to look for. And we came right back to the nonprofits. And you know what? This is where we're meant to be. This is what we're meant to do. We're helping to tell the stories so that they can improve their mission statements. They can improve that storytelling aspect so they can get more donors, find the right sponsors, connect with the community, get more engagement. Like that's all super important for a nonprofit. And sometimes they need that help. And we're just one of those people that can help them with that. So,
and it's also interesting that you say that, because how long have nonprofits been around? And then you find nonprofits that aren't doing it the right way. However, you starting your business, because most people with it, well, you have to have a business plan and you have to have a 10, 5, right? And I do that, right? When I started, I decided to go back into doing my own thing, and my own business. I came to Florida and chose to work for some other people as a W-2. Because I was doing my own thing for forever, and so I'm starting something new, and it didn't take me long to get back. However, the first company that I worked with, again, what are we going to do? We can't do this. We're a new business. I said, we're going to revisit this in 4 or 5 or 6 months, and then after that, and because I was on the leadership team of this new company, small company. Okay, Kevin, you can start working on the foundation. Yay, thank you. So started working on the foundation. Fast forward, client right now not ready to do foundation, but they are involved in the Boys and Girls clubs in Boca Raton, and we are in the process of noodling, putting together some type of foundation to be able to give to the community a healthcare coverage. I don't want to be able to say who I'm working with, because this is about us. However, they're doing the right thing. And so I think it's vital for you and I, as we still build our businesses, right? And it's vital for us to be able to connect with not just the big corporations and the Fortune 500s, but those smaller companies and those law firms and the CPAs that are within our communities, that maybe they can give $100, or maybe they can do an event, right? Or who do they know that they can help market for that nonprofit that you're working for? So the layers. Yeah. Right. So the layers don't stop. So when people say I can't, they can, they just don't understand. And we haven't communicated our mission properly to them when they say no. So that's why I think it's important that it continues. I think more nonprofits is a good thing. That breakfast that Tracy and started, Karen started, right? Forgive me. That was an amazing event, and just warms my heart, and probably one of the most beneficial events that the Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce does for the community.
I agree.
So
it's a beautiful breakfast that actually brings together the whole entire community.
Yeah,
for-profits, nonprofits, everybody, all in one space. And every month they have a different topic, a different way of doing it. It's not just stand up and talk about your business. This is what we're going to involve. They had pitch competitions, and they get more engagement, more involvement. And I just love that. It was really beautiful. One of the things that, going back to what you're saying, is there is other opportunities to pull in from the nonprofit space. You have a service, you have a product that can help that nonprofit. You have time. It doesn't always have to be money. A lot of the times that we think about, it's like, oh, we have to give money to a nonprofit. That's the only way that we can help them, because that's what a lot of people think. But there's so many other avenues. One, a connection. Just think about if you connected the nonprofit that you're talking to with someone else that you're connected to in your Rolodex. Aging myself a little bit with talking about a Rolodex.
Rolodex is good.
But
We get it.
that connection could help them so dramatically and you don't even know it. And that had nothing to do except for a little bit of your time looking into what your resources and your connections that you have. You didn't have to give them a service. You didn't have to do any projects or products or anything. But that could have been exactly what they needed. But there's so many different ways that we have to look at ways to collaborate with that nonprofit. And that was one of the reasons that we started this podcast. So we wanted to open those eyes.
Brilliant, right? Because it's not just about money, as you said, right? Sweat equity is huge.
Huge.
You need more sweat equity than you can. However, I'm going to share something with you. One of the nonprofits I was with, who's going to be our marketing team. So we took all the board members, right? And one meeting, we opened up all of our phones. We didn't bring our Rolodexes, but we opened up all our...
Yeah, the phones are our new Rolodex.
You open that up. The door was open, but I love you, man. And we went to see from A to Z, we start writing down, we want 10 key people, but I'm sure you probably have 50 that can help us, but give us 10 key people. And it doesn't matter who they are, if they're with a bank, if they're an insurance company, it doesn't matter. 10 key people who I can call because they know, like, and trust you and respect you and value you. Right. Instead of just making a phone call by, I'm not sure who he is. So who are those 10 warm leads? And that helped tremendously. It was never done before. Not that I'm so brilliant, but it made sense, right?
It does.
I'm a marketing guy. So who can be our marketing team? So that was really helpful. And that might have actually, that was I think that was the duathlon. I think if I'm remembering correctly, we were at the YMCA. It was a big, gorgeous building, right? One of those old Gothic YMCA's.
Nice.
Really, yeah, it was gorgeous. Stained glass, I could still see it. So I think that's what we did that. We were like by the cafeteria or something. And it made a big difference. And something that really helped us, luck is always helpful. We had a new casino that came into town. And of course, the casino wanted to make friends with everybody because they're the casino. Sure. So the CEO at the time was incredible young man, Bobby Soper. I haven't talked to Bobby in a while, and he got it and understood what we were doing and wanted to get involved. So it was a win-win immediately. And those mutually beneficial relationships, right? When you start at that level and you show that value, that we talk about, they were our key signature sponsor for quite a few years. And then obviously that helped because everybody else went, wow, Mohegan, I want to be friends with Mohegan. So it was sometimes luck is helpful when you're starting a new venture, a new community event. However, we were doing the hustle, right? We were getting the sweat equity. Without the sweat equity, it's not happening. You can write $1 billion check. It's not going to move unless you have the people.
Well, yeah.
The volunteers.
I mean, $1 billion check could be very valuable to add more people. Absolutely. But yeah, honestly, especially in grassroots nonprofits, they need that sweat equity help probably more than anything. And one of the things that you mentioned, like pulling out your phone, looking at who are these contacts. There's a lot of times I even tell people that I'm connecting with, I'm like, hey, take a look at my LinkedIn connections. Give me a small list. If I know them really, really well, I will gladly connect you. Like, let's look at this together.
You got a good point, because now technology makes it even easier for us.
It does.
Than the old days, when you hit your flip phone or whatever it was, right? And I go back to beeper days, and rotary phones too, right? Right. So I can keep going.
Sure.
However, it's easier. I don't want to say it's easier, because that's not a good word. It's you can be more productive with the technology today to be more strategic.
Correct.
Instead of easier. So I have to use that bachelor's degree I have.
There you go.
Thanks, King's College.
What does the future look like for Don't Back Down?
So that's a great point. So my focus is to be able to help startups, nonprofits, mom and pops, family-owned businesses, young entrepreneurs, but they have to be doing something that is making a difference. Everybody loves a great restaurant. I'm not looking to be able to do that. So I'm strategic on specifically helping the community with businesses that are going to benefit people and benefit their lives, benefit their health, benefit their spirit, benefit their families. So those are the types of businesses that I'm looking for. Yeah, Kevin, that can be everybody from A to Z going down Las Olas, but they're specific in who I want to work with. What that looks like moving into the future is that I'm in the process right now of figuring out how I can be more involved in social justice activities. And that would be most likely with the nonprofits, with minority-owned businesses, with women-owned businesses. There's so much need right now because, and I'm not going to really talk a lot more about business, but 85% of decisions in a household, any household, is decided by a woman. So those nonprofits and even for-profit companies, they need to do more work feminizing their brands to be able to connect with who makes the decisions in the household. Because why? It's the purse strings, right? The woman is still the one that is controlling that, and the numbers are there, 85%.
Wow.
Now, a long time ago, when I was focused a little bit more on consumer spending, more than brand development, it was, I think, like 50 or 55 or 60. It's really exploded the last few years. And I think maybe COVID maybe had something to do with it because we were all home.
Sure.
So that's the type of work that I want to be able to focus on and continue to make a difference. And it's not about me scaling my business, even though I'm fairly new. I did this before when I transitioned from Washington, D.C. when I was working full time to PA to raise our boys and to build my own business, but to be Mr. Mom. And my kids are incredible. It's why I'm at peace and the families that they've expanded into. So that's where I want to be able to focus on. I want to be able to continue to collaborate. Right, you and I have known each other for a few years, and I would love to be able to figure out how we can collaborate. So that's what I'm focused on, is to be open, to be able to work with like-minded people, and that we could still make a difference. Because it's never been about money for me.
Okay. Yeah.
It's never been about money for me. It's always been about doing the right thing and following that legacy that my parents taught me. So that's where I want Dope Back Down to move forward and to continue to make a difference within my community.
So how do people contact you?
So they contact me. They can go to my website and they can make an appointment on my Calendly, and it's don'tbackdown.biz. Really easy is my website. Email is info@don'tbackdown.biz. The best way to contact me is to go to my LinkedIn page and friend me there, and let's start a conversation. Let's be friends and learn how we can support each other, collaborate with each other, and even more importantly, what we can do to be able to help other people within our circle, within our network, in our universe, to help uplift them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So also give the chamber information, how they can connect with the chamber.
Thank you. I did mention the Boynton Beach Online Chamber of Commerce. So the BBOC is at bbocflorida.com. Again, we're a different type of chamber. The online portion of it, Boynton Beach Online Chamber of Commerce, is that we have a very robust back end. We have a very robust CRM, allowing our members to get very involved as much as they want to, right? You can lead a horse to water, right? With social media, a few different Facebook pages. There are opportunities to do webinars on anything that you want to be able to talk about. It's very, very involved with being able to utilize the digital footprint that we all need today and we're required to have. But we're also a traditional chamber. We're not a big box chamber. It's not what you can do for us. It's what we, as the BBOC and leadership, I'm director of community affairs. I started a really cool program called Daybreak Dialogue. It's the second Friday of every month. And we could talk about that maybe if you'll invite me back. However, we're doing things differently to be able to help small businesses be able to grow and to be able to get them involved and to be able to be actively coordinating those collaborations. So if there's one business that naturally should collaborate and connect with another one, we're making those connections because people, right? I don't know how many people go to the directory in a Chamber of Commerce and, I can work with them. They should. Yeah. Every Chamber of Commerce member should be on every directory or within 3 or 4 chambers of commerce, or heck, go to Sarasota Chamber of Commerce. Maybe you want to do some work, right? don't limit yourself.
Correct.
So that's what our attitude is, and our mission at the BBOC, the Boynton Beach Online Chamber, which is the local official, if you will, Chamber of Commerce in Boynton Beach. There's some things that are continue to tweak, and there's some things that we continuously improve on. However, we're moving forward. We are all have our own businesses. This is a volunteer effort from all of the leaders. We have 9 directors. We have over 150 members, so we're moving in the right direction. But the whole point about the Boynton Beach Online Chamber of Commerce is to be able to support, embrace the community, and then the area in a larger area, if you will, the metro area. And we need local. It's all about local first.
Yeah.
And then we'll spread out. So thank you for reminding me to talk about that. I get in trouble from the other directors. Yeah, they make me brush, I don't know, sweep the streets, but that's okay. There's dignity in all work. I'll sweep the streets. I'll clean the toilets, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, man. And in today's day and age, it's what we need to teach our young kids.
I agree.
So, and that's another focus of mine, to be able to, who can I connect with those organizations that are helping those young minds and teach them not to have that entitlement gene.
Yeah.
And what I can do for you instead of what you can do for me.
Very true. Very true. You mentioned legacy a few times. So my final question to you, which I ask everybody on the show.
Okay.
What is the legacy you hope to leave for future generations?
So that's an easy question for me. I've already done it, man.
Awesome.
I've already done it. My hour, right? My wife and I have created 2 incredible young men, and they are saving lives in different ways. And so my legacy is not my business. My legacy is not the charter school. My legacy is not the nonprofit work that I've done. My legacy is that I was blessed. We were blessed to have 2 incredible men that are changing lives, that I'm in awe of, and every parent I would think would want to have the same feeling that I have. Except they're changing lives. One is changing lives spiritually as a rabbi. One is changing lives physically as a nurse working in an OR with the cardiac and vascular team, saving lives that way. Mic drop for Kevin. I'm done. Right? What else could I want out of life? And what else could I have and ask for a legacy than to have two young men, 2 boys, 2 incredible people that are making a difference? And then the wives that they married, my bonus daughters, because I don't like daughter-in-law. It's too shallow for me. I love these girls like they're my own, and they've improved, my boys, and they just incredible. So I'm wicked blessed, and that's my legacy. And I'm just going to continue to do what I do and do my best to make a difference and make friends and collaborate with incredible people like you that are leaders in our community. And that's my blessing, and that's why I walk in gratitude every day, man.
That's fantastic. Kevin, thank you so much for being on the show today. This was really deep. I really appreciate all the insight and even flipping the script on me. So thank you so much.
Well, that's what I do, right?
Yep.
It was an honor to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Visualize. We hope that the inspiration and practical insights can help you foster stronger connections and meaningful change. Don't forget to subscribe, share the episode, and leave us a review. To learn more about Visuals by Momo and how we support collaboration and storytelling, visit visualsbymomo.com. A huge thank you to everyone out there listening. Until next time, remember, collaboration fuels change, and your connections can inspire the world.